Guys, please confirm to me. All of you get my voice on screen. Those are attending in online. Guys, please confirm to me. All of you get my voice on screen. Those are attending in online. Please check once. Guys, please check once. All of you get my voice on screen. Those are attending in online. Right. All right. Good morning, guys. All right, sir. And check it what we completed there in the last session. What exactly the content here we started there. I think so. We are discussing about servlets design part. Steps to prepare first web application we completed already. In that steps to prepare first application, almost all the steps we completed. And last one, like what there after that, directly we have to prepare servlets. To prepare these servlets already, we have three approaches. We have seen already these three approaches there. All right. In the last class content, if you observe this, what we understand in the last class care, the first one is, that means web.xml file, URL pattern content we completed. Then after that, prepare web resources. In general, in web applications, we will use web resources like servlets, JSPs, HTML, and so on. In web applications, to prepare servlet class, Servlet API has provided some predefined library. What is that predefined library was provided there? Servlet interface, generic servlet abstract class. After this, HTTP servlet abstract class. Okay, this HTTP servlet is available under HTTP package. This total HTTP package, generic servlet, and servlet interface all are available under the servlet package. The servlet package is available under Java X package in older versions and newer versions Jakarta. The servlet API is available in two forms. One is with Java X, another one is with what there Jakarta. Recent implementation is what there Jakarta. The Jakarta provided servlet implementation is available in the form of what there Jakarta package. Sun Microsystems provided implementation is available in the form of what there Java XM. Okay, then what is available for us that we are going to utilize there? No need to worry for it. Next one is what is servlet and in how many ways we are able to prepare servlets in web applications. This is a question now. There we have to give answer for it. Servlet is a server-side program. By executing this server-side program, some response will be generated by the container and server to the respective client. Then another point, servlet is an object maintained by the container and it must implement a servlet interface either directly or indirectly. As per the servlet API provided, predefined library, there are three ways to prepare servlets. What are the three ways to prepare servlets now? First one is what there? Implementing servlet interface. There we have seen that. Declare one user-defined class, that the class must implement what there? Servlet interface. Second one is what there? Extending generic servlet abstract class. There also we are giving information there. Public class welcome servlet, extends the generic servlet, and some implementations here we have to provide. Next, third one, extending HTTP servlet abstract class. public class welcome servlet extends HTTP servlet. Alright, sir. Now there are the three approaches to prepare the servlet classes. After these three approaches, then what next one here? Another step is like what there, start server and deploy web application. In general, we are able to start server, Tomcat server in the following two ways. One is what there, by using Tomcat 10 application under C:\Tomcat 10.0 bin Tomcat 10. There, just if you double click on it, automatically server will start. Next one is what there after that, by using the Tomcat system service. Right, then we need to go for system search where we have to type with what there, services.msc, select Apache Tomcat 10.0, Apache 10, click on icons like start service, stop service, restore service, and so on. There are a number of deployment methodologies in server. One is what there, auto deployment. Second one is what there, explicit deployment. If you provide web application directly under web apps folder in a Tomcat server, then the server will deploy the provided applications which are under web apps folder or automatically at the time of server startup. That means whatever the applications we provided under web apps folder in a Tomcat server, then server will deploy the provided applications which are under web apps folder or automatically deployed. Okay, folder automatically. Will deploy automatically the provided applications which are under the web apps folder. Right, sir. That's it. At the time of server startup, that we have to understand clearly. Right, sir. Access the web application. Nothing else. To access the web application, what we have to do there? Just provide the application URL at client browser's address bar. Then automatically our application will be executed. Our servlet will be executed. Right, sir. Overall, these are the various points here we understand clearly. Observe carefully now. They are the various things here we understood there. Okay, fine. All right, sir. Now, understand next one here. After that, after completion of this particular one, the next topic would be like what there, servlets design or developing servlets. Okay, preparing servlets. Servlets design. That means how we are going to prepare servlets. Already I said to you, in how many ways we are able to prepare servlets now? In three ways. Get my point or not? In how many ways we are able to prepare servlets now? In three ways. There are three ways to prepare servlets. What are the three ways to prepare servlets now? First one is by using servlet, by implementing servlet interface. Second one is what there, by implementing servlet interface. Second one is by extending generic servlet abstract class, by extending generic servlet abstract class. Okay. Third one is what there, by extending HTTP servlet abstract class, by extending what there, HTTP servlet abstract class. That's it. Overall, these are the three approaches we are having to prepare servlets. Okay, now we will see one by one clearly how we are going to do that. Now here itself, I'm going to start programming also. When I complete this servlet interface explanation, then we will start programming directly. Let's observe this clearly. First one is like what I'm telling there, by implementing the servlet interface, by implementing what the servlet interface. This is the first approach. Right. what we have to do now in this approach. Okay, now before going to start implementation of the servlet interface, first of all, what we have to do, we must know what exactly the servlet interface and how many methods are declared inside the servlet interface. All the things here we have to understand. After that only we are going to implement the servlet interface. All right, sir. Now here I'm giving some clarity. Servlet is an interface. Servlet is an interface provided by, servlet is an interface provided by Sun Microsystems, means that or Oracle Corporation nowadays, whatever it may be, both are same. Servlet is an interface provided by Servlet API. Simply speaking, provided by Servlet API. That API may be provided by anybody else, maybe Sun Microsystems or maybe Oracle Corporation. Servlet API in the form of Java X dot servlet, or in the latest versions Jakarta project, if you take no, Jakarta dot servlet dot what next one here no, servlet interface. Observe carefully, either Jakarta or Java X, then either of these things here we are able to take. Depending on the server implementation, depending on the server what we are using, we can take either of the things. Okay, fine. And then what next one here after this? Servlet is an interface provided by Servlet API in the form of these, and it has the following methods. It has the following methods. What exactly the methods are available, we are going to understand it clearly. All right, sir. Now observe carefully. Public interface servlet, directly an interface servlet. Inside this, I'm going to write methods. Now try to understand this. What are the various methods here we are having there? Nearly 5 methods are available. Inside the servlet interface, how many methods are available there? 5 methods. What are the 5 methods which are available inside the servlet interface? No. First one is init method. First one is what there? Init method. And the second one is what there? After this init method, observe carefully. Get a servlet config method. Get a servlet config method. Next one, get a servlet info method. Get a servlet info method. Next one is a service method. Service method. Last one is a destroy method. Come again, order I want to change a little bit now. First one is what there? Init method. Next one is a service method. Get a servlet config. Get a servlet info. Next one is a destroy method. There the 5 methods are available. Tell me what are the 5 methods now? Init method, service method, get servlet config method, get servlet info method, destroy method. Let's see the prototypes of each and every method here. Right. First one is public void init of servlet config throws servlet exception. Throws servlet exception. Semicolon. This is one method. Here we are having init method. Public void init method. Next one is public void service of. Two parameters are existed here. What are the two parameters for the service method? No, first one is servlet request, comma. Second one is servlet response, throws servlet exception, comma, IO exception. servlet exception, comma, IO exception, semicolon. Why? Because these are the interface methods only. No body, only the declarative part. First method is what there? Init method, servlet config, throws servlet exception. Public void service, servlet request, comma, servlet response, throws servlet exception, comma, IO exception. Next one is after that, public servlet config get servlet config method. Get servlet config method. Alright, so this is one method. Next one is public string get servlet info method. This is another method. Last one is public void destroy method. Public void destroy method. Right. Now see this overall. How many methods are available here? 5 methods are available. Init method, service method, get servlet config method, get servlet info method, then destroy method. Okay, at least one line about each and every method here we have to understand. Alright, so observe carefully. First of all, init method. What exactly the purpose of this init method? Observe carefully. Where init method will be executed, where init method will execute when container is performing servlet initialization. When container is performing what there? Servlet initialization. Observe carefully. No. Init method. If I write something inside the init method, that something will be executed by the container when it performs servlet initialization. One simple clarity I'm telling there. Of course, I can say the point directly. Init method can be used to perform servlet initialization. I can say the point. Init method will perform servlet initialization, but this is wrong. Init method is not performing servlet initialization. Container is performing servlet initialization. Part of it, init method will be called. Understand the point here? See, servlet lifecycle is available. What are the various points of this servlet lifecycle now? Servlet loading, servlet initialization, servlet initialization, request processing, servlet deinitiation. Come again, what are the 5 lifecycle stages of this servlets now? Servlet loading, servlet initialization, servlet initialization, request processing, servlet deinitiation. These 5 steps are performed by container automatically. These 5 steps are performed by container automatically, where developer is not possible to control these 5 steps. Automatically container will perform these 5 steps. But if you want to execute anything while servlet initialization, override this init method. Part of the servlet initialization, container will execute this particular init method. Understand my point or not? Container will perform these life cycle stages one after another. While performing servlet initialization, init method will be called. Alright, where the init method will execute, when the container is performing servlet initialization. That's the point here. If you provide your code inside the init method, that will be executed by container at the time of performing servlet initialization. Alright, so this is one point. Next one is another one, where the service method will be executed when the container is performing request to processing phase. When the container is performing request to processing phase. Got it or not? I will come back for the service method again. Why? Because there only we have to keep our application logic. This method is a main method for us. Now insert the servlet. So we will understand this method later on. Let me complete all the points here. Okay, then after that. Where get a servlet config method, will return servlet config object. Servlet config object will be created inside the servlet initialization, so that object will be provided. Again, I'm telling there, I will give some clarity about this servlet config object in the future. It's a separate topic for us. Servlet config and servlet context are two different topics now. There I'm going to talk about these two concepts there. But servlet config is an object. It will be returned by get servlet config method. See, if you want to understand some information about this servlet config object, I'm giving some clarity. Try to understand it. Servlet config is an object created by the container as part of servlet initialization. As part of servlet initialization, and it is able to manage all the configuration details. Understand this point here? All the configuration details of a particular servlet which we provided in web.xml file. About a particular servlet, if you provide any configuration details in web.xml file, that all these details are going to be stored inside like what there servlet config object. Get my point or not? This is a purpose of like what there servlet config object. All right, sir. Servlet config is an object created by the container as part of servlet initialization. It is able to manage all the configuration details of a particular servlet which we provided in the web.xml file. This is the meaning of the servlet config. All right, sir. As part of servlet initialization, I said to you later, I will go for small changes on it, not immediately. In an exact topic, I will discuss with you clearly. All right, sir. Now, observe carefully after completion of this. Here, init method is available or not? Observe this init method prototype now. Init method is having what their servlet config object. So when container wants to access this init method, first container will create servlet config object. Container will pass that servlet config as parameter to this init method. Container will create a servlet config object. After that only container will call init method. So container will pass that servlet config object as parameter to init method. Then only container will access this init method. So means that in a servlet initialization, servlet config object is created. That servlet config object, if you want to get explicitly, there we have to use what method here now? Get servlet config method. Okay, fine. Next one is after that. Where get a servlet info method. Where get a servlet info method is able to return description, some description about this servlet. Some description about the servlet. What is that description here now? That we'll understand later on. About a particular servlet, some description if you provide now, get servlet info method will return that description. Of course, the description we have to provide in what there under the servlet configuration. That description here we are able to get. Right, sir. Leave this one. Then after that, where destroy method will be executed, where destroy method will be executed when the container performs, when the container perform servlet deinstantiation phase. Container is performing what there? Servlet deinstantiation phase. Right, sir. Servlet deinstantiation is nothing but what there? Destroy. That means destruction of the servlet object. While performing this servlet deinstantiation, part of it, Container will access which method here? No, destroy method. If we provide any logic inside the destroy method, that will be executed at the time of performing servlet deinitiation. Yes, sir. All of you are getting my point or not? Now tell me, all of you know, init method, when it will be executed? Part of the servlet initialization. Service method will be executed at what time there? Part of the request processing. Right, sir. Destroy method will be executed at what time there? Part of the servlet deinitiation. Get servlet config method is able to return servlet config object which was created at the time of initialization. And servlet get a servlet info method will be provided, will return some description about the servlet. Okay, these are overall methods information here what we are having. At least one line information here we are providing. Yes, sir, got it or not? So in the future also, I'm going to use init method frequently, and the service method is mandatory for us. Service method implementation is mandatory for us. That we have to understand. Anyway, sir, now try to understand the point here, what I'm telling to you. Observe carefully. Now the next heading here, what I'm telling there, implementation of service method. Implementation of service method. Implementation of service method. How we are implementing this service method, we have to understand this. Now I need to give some information about this service method. Try to understand it now. Listen carefully. Service method is like main method in J2SE applications. In J2SE applications, how main method is available? Like this, service method is available. Service method is like main method in J2SE applications. Okay, it will have, the service method will have, it will have the application logic. It will have the application logic which we want to execute, to process the request. To process the request. Observe carefully what I am telling here. Service method is like the main method in J2SE applications. It will have the application logic which you want to execute to process the request. Which will have the request to process the request. Okay, fine. Next, all of you observe carefully. Tell me guys, then who will execute this main method in J2SE applications? No? Who will execute main method there? JVM will execute main method. JVM will execute this main method automatically, or as per our method call, JVM is executing main method. JVM is executing main method. How automatically JVM is calling main method, or we are calling main method? No, automatically JVM will execute main method or not? See, what I am asking to you, we are not calling main method at any location in our application there. JVM will load main class, then automatically JVM will execute main method or not? What is the thinking of the JVM now? JVM is thinking the total application logic is available inside the main method. So directly JVM is calling main method in our core Java programs. Similarly, upon receiving requests from client, immediately container will execute this service method by thinking of the total application logic is existed inside the service method. Yes, sir, got it or not? Now the point is what there, container will execute service method. Container will execute service method automatically upon receiving requests from clients. Container will execute service method automatically upon receiving requests from clients by thinking, or else maybe not required here, upon receiving the clients. Why? Because the container aware about the service method and its application logic. in the body. That means the point is what I'm telling to you. Container will execute the service method automatically upon receiving requests from clients. Why? Because container is aware about the service method and its application logic in the body. Understand my point or not? The container knows about it. That method is a main method where only application logic is available. By having this kind of thinking, no, container will execute service method automatically upon receiving requests from clients. When request is submitted by the client, when request is coming to the server or client directly, container will execute like what their service method for processing that request. Understand my point? Okay, fine. Now observe carefully inside this. In a service method, we have to provide the following steps. We have to provide the following steps. We have to provide the following steps to generate dynamic response. What are the steps here? All right, sir. Now, in the service method implementation, now simply I'm telling that in the service method implementation, we have to use the following steps. That's enough, no? As of now. Now try to understand this. What are the various steps here we have to do there? First of all, whenever we are entering inside the service method, what we are doing here, set a content type response header. Set a content type response header. Okay. What's the purpose of it? What is the requirement to set content type? No, to give information to the client which type of response my present servlet is generating. Content type is representing what there to give a particular information to the client which type of response my present servlet is generating. Got my point or not? So set a content type response header in order to give information to the client about the type of response that present servlet is generating. Understand my point here? No, about to give the type of response that present servlet is generating. To give that information, we are using like what there content type that we have to provide. But how, sir, how we are able to provide this content type here? How it is possible for us? No, right? Simply here we have to use response dot set a content type of. Here we need to provide like what there some type of the content here we have to provide. But before this, I want to give like what there method prototype. What exactly the method here we are going to use, that I will use there. Observe carefully. Public void set a content type of string MIME type. These are called as what there MIME types, where MIME type may be text or HTML. That means my response may be text and HTML maybe, comma, text or XML. Maybe my data is what there, my response is what the text under XML, comma. Next one is what there, image or JPG or JPEG, image or JPEG, and so on. So many different things are available here that we have to understand. JPG or JPEG, whatever it may, both are same. Like this here, we have to provide some MIME type now. Okay, fine. Then one more point I'm telling them. Okay, sir. But if I'm missing to provide, if I have not provided any MIME type, then what type will take? What type it will take automatically? Right. We have to understand now the default MIME type. The default MIME type in web applications is text or HTML. The default MIME type is what there text or HTML. Not required to write explicitly, By default, it will take what there, text or HTML. But if you want to provide different content type, no, there we can write like what there, anything. What do you want to write there? Got my point or not? But the default MIMI type for the response is what there, text or HTML. So example code I'm telling to you, observe carefully. Response dot set a content type of there we have to write what there, text or HTML, or maybe text or XML, whatever it may be. That depends on our requirement what we want to write. This is point number 1. Yes, sir. What is this point number 1 now? Tell me. Set a content type to give information to the client which type of response that present servlet is generating. Sir, clear or not? All of you are getting clarity or not? Right, sir. This is step number 1. Now here we have to go with step number 2. Get a print writer object. Get a print writer object in order to send a response. In order to send response to the response object and to the client. And to what their client. Get a print writer object from response object. From response object in order to send a response to the response object and to the client. Okay, right, sir. Definitely. See, we are at a servlet. First of all, I have to keep response in response object. Once you are keeping response in response object, container will dispatch that response to the respective client. But first of all, we have to keep response in response object or not. To keep response in response object, we require one writer object. That writer object is what their print writer. That writer object is what their print writer. All of you observe carefully what I am telling to you. Say for example, to get a print writer, what method here we have to use there? Public print writer, get a print writer. That means public print writer. Next one is what there? Get a writer or get a print writer. I will confirm this method here. I think so. Get writer method or get print writer. I will check it. I think so. Get print writer only. Observe this clearly. Now print writer out is equal to response dot get writer method. I think so. Get writer, not print writer. I'll confirm it anyway. In the application, I'll confirm it. Don't worry for it. Get writer method. So we are getting like what their print writer object. Okay, whenever we are getting print writer object, then we have to send response to the response object or not. Then we have to submit response to the response object. Now, send a response to the response object. Send a response to the response object. For submitting response to the response object, what method here we are going to use there? Public void println of a response. That means string response. That we are able to provide. Public void println of like what their response, string response. Example I'm telling there, observe carefully here. Print writer out is equal to response dot get writer method here we have used. Out is a variable or not? Right, by using this out variable, out dot println of, just we can specify some HTML tag. My response type is what there? My response type is text or HTML or not? As part of that here we are writing like what there, out dot println of, simple here. I want to provide like what there, body. HTML response here I'm preparing now. Next one is out dot println of, just I want to say hello user. Hello user. Like this here I want to specify some data. Next one is out dot println of slash body tag. Then after that slash HTML tag. Of course, within a single out dot println we can write more than one HTML. Now tell me guys, whatever the parameter here we provided for this println method, that parameter is the actual response. This data is nothing but what there, that actual response. The data will be submitted to the respective client. This data is the actual response and this data will be submitted to the respective client. That's it. Only these are the various steps we required in the implementation of the service method. Guys, all of you respond for me. How many steps here we have to do inside the service method to generate response? No, 3 steps. What are the 3 steps here? What is the first step here? No, Set a content type response header in order to give information to the client about the type of response that present servlet is generating. Okay, content type. Then what is the point I'm telling here? What is the method here we are using there? Public void set a content type string MIME type. Here we provide it. Where MIME type may be what there, text or HTML or text or XML or image or JPG and so on. So many types are available. Next one is node kind of point here I've given there. What is a node here? The default MIME type in web applications is what there, text or HTML. This is a default MIME type. Even if you're not providing response.set a content type, nothing is going to be happen. By default, 1 minute. Right, sir. So by default, MIME type in web application is what there, text or HTML. Not required to specify. That is 1 point. Next one is what there. After that, now here I given one example for it. What is that example here I given there? Response dot set a content type text or HTML that we provided clearly. Then after that, get a print writer object from response object in order to submit response to the response object and in order to send that response to the respective client. So for that purpose, what we have to do, what is the method here we have to use from response now? Public print writer get writer. There what we provided here, print writer out is equal to response dot get writer. Next one after that, send a response to the response object. To send a response to the response object, simply we are using println method from print writer. What is that println method here now? Out.println HTML, out.println body, out.println hello user, out.println slash body slash HTML. Whatever the parameter here we provided to the out.println methods, the total parameter data is nothing but what their response data which you want to generate from server mission to the respective client. Yes, sir. All of you complete or not? So this is the total awareness of like what they're preparing servlet. First one, service method implementation. Remaining methods are namesake only, not required immediately. In the future, we will discuss about them. But first of all, we have to understand only service method. Service method is like a main method in the J2SE applications, where container will access the service method automatically by thinking about the service method and its importance. Importance is what they're having application logic in its body. So because of that reason, container will access the service method automatically. Yes, sir, got it or not? That's all, guys. Now we have to prepare applications clearly. Right, sir. Right, sir. Cannot we place all lines in one out.println method? Yes, of course we can keep it. Out.println some HTML text and text data here we can write. If you want to use only one out.println or if you want to use multiple out.println, that depends on your development. So of course we can keep it. Now all the things continuously we can write it. HTML body hello user slash body slash HTML. Of course we can write it now. Okay, but in general in the application development nobody will do that like this. So everybody will go for multiple out.printlns only. Of course, we can do that. All right, sir. Now the remaining part is what there? I'm going to prepare application. I'm going to prepare the very first servlet application. Up to now, whatever the steps here we have done there, all the steps I'm going to include, then try to put more concentration here now. That's the very first application. Now try to understand this. Now, very first application, this service method, this first application, I want to prepare without using IDEs. By this, we are able to understand what is going on in the ground. From the second approach onwards, I will use IDEs, Eclipse IDE I will use. Yes, sir, got it or not? So first of all, let us try this example with what there, with the edit plus only. By this, we can understand what work we have to do for executing our servlets. Yes, clear? All right, sir. Now let us check this first of all. What is the step number one? Step number one is what there? we have to create web application directory structure in the Tomcat server. So first of all, let me go to this Tomcat server, Tomcat 10.0. Yes, sir, all of you are following or not? Almost the last 10 to 15 days of effort. Now today we are going to see the result. Nothing is going to happen. Just application, first application is too much difficult. Once if we come over that first application there, remaining applications are very similar, very same. Easily we can prepare the applications. Got it or not? All right, now let's see this one. I think all of you might be installed Tomcat server in your systems. Everybody must be installed Tomcat server, right? If you open the Tomcat server, where what folder is available, web apps folder is available. There only we have to create our applications. Now I'm going to create my application under this Tomcat, under web apps. Right click on it, new, then here I need to prepare a folder. Now the folder name is what I want to take there, app01. Hello world application only, app01. Inside this mandatory folder, what I have to create there now, next one is web-inf folder, web-inf folder. Inside this web-inf folder, what I have to create there, classes folder. What we prepare here, classes folder. That's it. Tell me how I prepared this web application directory structure. First I opened Tomcat 10.0. Under that web apps, I went there. Inside the web apps, I prepared my own application folder. That is what there, app01. Inside this application folder, what folder I created here? Web-inf. Inside the web-inf folder, what folder I created here? Classes folder. Please remember this. Most of the people are doing mistake is what there. Most of the people are trying to keep application one in capital letters, and web-inf is in lowercase letters, and in classes now C is a capital. In general, people are writing like that. Understand my point? So don't do such kind of case sensitive or case sensitive so kind of things. No, the point is what there, all folders must be provided in lowercase letters only, except web-inf. That web-inf is having a specification, so web-inf must be provided in uppercase letters. Don't change that letters, and these names of the folder structure is very much fixed. No changes on their names. Even capitals and lowercase letters are giving impact in our application execution if we change them. So don't change them. Application folder and classes folder both must be provided in lowercase letter, but web-inf folder must be provided in what there, uppercase letter. Okay, fine. Directory structure is ready. Next I need to prepare what there, my components there. To prepare these components, I'm going to use what there, simply I want to use what there, edit plus. Here I want to use. First of all, let me prepare web.xml file. Let me prepare what there, web.xml file, or else directly I want to prepare what there, servlet. Let me prepare servlet first of all. Now tell me, if I want to prepare servlet, then what we have to do there? Now tell me here, no. What we have to do there? First of all, we must declare a class. What is the class here? We have to provide there public. Every servlet class must be public. Every servlet class must be public. You should not change this one. This is mandatory. Every servlet class must be public. Observe carefully. So public class, what we have to provide there? Just simply I want to provide welcome servlet. My servlet name is what there? Welcome servlet. Why every class must be public? No. Who is creating objects for welcome servlet class? Not by the developer. Who is creating servlet objects? No. Container. Container will create the servlet objects. Am I right or not? When a container is creating the servlet objects, no, container must require the scope of the servlet class or not. So to bring the scope of the servlet class to the container, to provide servlet class scope to the container, there we are using what there, public class welcome servlet that we provided. Next one is, what is the first approach? Implements servlet interface. Implements what there, servlet interface. All right, sir. Whenever we are implementing servlet interface, then immediately we must provide implementation for all methods or not. Then immediately we must provide implementation for all methods or not. Now here we need to provide implementation. First method is what there. Now tell me, public void init of servlet config throws. servlet exception, throws what there, servlet exception. Now just open and closed, not required to do anything. First of all, tell me guys, here we are using one interface, am I right or not? And we are using what there, servlet config here we are using. But these are predefined library or not? That predefined library is available in Java X.Servlet package or not? So we need to import the Java X.Servlet package or not? No response, guys. We have to import Java X.Servlet package or not? So that's why here we have to write like what there, import Java X.Servlet.star. Java X.Servlet.star. Why? Because servlet config, servlet, and servlet request, servlet response, servlet might be exception. All the things are available inside the Java X.Servlet package. That's why we have to implement this particular one. Next one after that. Next one. Public void service method, where servlet request comma, servlet response throws servlet exception comma IO exception. And now tell me guys, IO exception is available in which package? No, Java.io package. IO exception is available in which package? No, Java.io package. So here we have to provide import java.io.star. That package also here we have to import whenever we want to provide this IO package. Now here I need to provide implementation part. First of all, I need to set my response type. So to specify the response type, then what we have to do there, response dot set a content type. Set a content type text or HTML. Observe carefully what I am telling to you. All right, sir. Public void service servlet request comma servlet response throw servlet exception comma IO exception. Response dot set a content type text or HTML. That is, we are giving an information to the client browser which type of response my present servlet is generating. That response is what, that text or HTML. On the base of this value only, prepare yourself to hold the response. Prepare yourself to hold the response kernel. That's okay, fine. Next one is, after that, we need to get print writer object or not to submit response to the respective response object. So further purpose here, what we have to do there, print writer out is equal to response dot get writer. What's the method here we have used there? Response dot get writer. Print writer out is equal to response dot get writer. Right, sir. Now that is another point here we can understand clearly. Next one is, after that, I want to generate some response to the respective client. Observe carefully. Out dot println of HTML. Out dot println of HTML. Out dot println of body. Out dot println of body. Next one is out dot println of, just I want to give some header kind of approach here, h1 tag. Observe carefully. Now here in h1 tag, what I want to provide there, right sir, some styles here we are able to provide. Am I right or not? How we are going to maintain these styles now? h1 style parameter is required or not? Style is equal to what we are able to provide, sir? Color is equal to red. Am I right or not? That's enough. I don't require more than this. Then align is equal to what I want to provide there, center. I think all of you might be aware about this HTML text. No? All right, sir. Now this is style I provided. Style is equal to color colon red. That means my text red I want to see in color. And align is what there, center of the browser here I'm able to get. Next one is, after that, out.println of, here I want to write my message. What I want to display in browser there, just simply I want to display welcome to Durga Software Solutions. Welcome to Durga Software Solutions. Next one is what there, out.println of, let me close h1 tag and I want to close body tag. Then after that I want to close what there, HTML tag. Everything I closed. As per your view, all the closing tags I provide in a single outed println. Sir, got it or not? Now this is my what there service method implementation. Up to now, how many methods I implemented here? Three methods. What are the three methods? No, sorry, two methods. Init method and a service method. Then what is the next method here? Now tell me here. What is the next method? Public servlet config. Get a servlet config method. Get a servlet config method. Return type is servlet config. That's why just I want to return null. I don't want to go with any other one. Just I want to return what value here? No, null value. Here I want to return. Right, sir. That's okay, fine. Next one is after that. Public string get a servlet info method. Get a servlet info method. Now inside this, what we are able to return empty string. I don't want to return any value here now. Okay, get servlet info method. Next one is what there public void destroy method. Public void destroy nothing. I don't want to touch these methods. Yes, sir. All of you get my point or not? See this one. What exactly the methods can be provided? First of all, import java x.servlet.store. Import java.io.store. Public class welcome servlet implements the servlet. Init method. Service method. Inside the service method can be provided. First of all, we are setting the content type, what type of response we are generating. Second one is what there print writer object here we are getting. Next one is by using out.println we are generating dynamic response. Guys, now tell me by seeing this response now, by seeing this information, what we are thinking about the response at client browser now tell me. What response we are trying to get at client browser now tell me by seeing this total implementation. We want to get welcome to Durga software solutions in a red color at the middle of the browser. Got or not? So browser will execute HTML tags internally, but it able to show only text data. That's the capability of the browser. All right, sir. Next one, get servlet config, nothing I written. Get servlet info, nothing I written. Destroy method. Only these are the various methods are available or not? Right now, tell me, after preparing this one, we have to save this file or not? We have to save this file or not? Yes, of course. We can save this file, but where we want to save this file actually, we have to save this file in general in a SRC folder. We have to save this file under what folder there? No, SRC folder. Get my point or not? But I have not taken SRC folder. See, if I save that under SRC folder, then what I have to do? I have to compile that program at SRC folder. Then I have to send that servlet.class files to which location there? Classes location. Some type of command here we have to provide with -d or something else. No, right or not? Don't do that one in a simplified manner. As much as simple. Directly save this servlet.java file under classes folder. Sir, got my point or not? Of course, once we compile the program, nobody is thinking about .java file. Everybody is thinking about what there .class file, servlet.class file. Final target is what there? We need to get servlet.class file under classes of folder. That's the final target. So wherever you want to keep your .java file, that doesn't matter. Directly keep the servlet.class file under what there? Classes folder. So for the sake of that, what I'm trying to do, I want to save this .java file directly under what there? Classes folder. There only I'm going to compile the program. There directly I'm getting what there? .class file. Is all of you are getting it or not? Okay, fine. Let's see this. Now let me save this one. Now here, I need to go for where I have to save this now. Tell me, all of you know where I have to save this now. Tell me, all of you here. First of all, we have to go with what there? C drive. Inside the C drive only, what is available, sir? Tomcat 10.0 is available. Open it. Sorry. Tomcat 10.0 is available. Open it. Inside this Tomcat 10.0, what we have to open there? Web apps. Inside this, what we have to open there? ABB01. Inside this, what we have to open? WebInf. There, I want to save with what there? My class name. What is my class name here? No, welcome servlet.java. Right, sir. Welcome servlet.java. Tell me again now. Tell me where I'm trying to save this .java file now. Under classes folder. Under what there? Classes folder. Click on enter button. My .java file is saved under what there? Classes folder. Alright. Oh, sorry. 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. Yeah, don't worry, don't worry. I think I saved under web folder, right? Save as, save as. All right. All right, sir. Now I save it there. Now I don't require it. What location here? Web folder. Leave this one. Under classes folder, it is existed. Welcome servlet.java file. Yes, sir. Clear? All of you clear about it? No? I think all of you are clear up to this part here. In our practice also, you will not get any problem up to this point. Am I right or not? Now, I want to compile this servlet class. Am I right or not? We have to compile this servlet class. Why? Because .java, with the .java file, we are not going to execute anything. If we want to execute something, definitely we require what there .class file. Now we have to compile the program. We have to compile the program. Now tell me, to compile the program, what command we have to use? What command we have to use now? Tell me. Java C command. Am I right or not? Java C command. Nice, sir. Now observe carefully. Okay. All right, sir. Now here we have to use what command there? No, Java C command here we have to use. Okay, fine. Now I'm giving clarity for you. Now try to understand it. Java C command, if you want to use, then what's going to be happen? First of all, open the command prompt. In this command prompt, what we have to do there, go to the location wherever .java file is saved. At which location it was saved there? Now tell me. CD space, what is that one? Tomcat. CD space, what next one can know? Web apps. Then CD space, what next one can know? APP01. CD space, what next one? WebINF. CD space, what next one? No, classes. Yes, sir. Got it or not? We must go to this location. All of you understand it clearly. Observe carefully what I'm trying to say now. If I use Java C space tester dot Java, sorry, if I use Java C space welcome servlet dot Java, if I click on enter button, what will happen there? Java compiler will come. Java compiler will take welcome servlet dot Java file. Then Java compiler will recognize first these import statements. Import java.io.star okay. Java compiler directly knows about the core Java library. But what is this library actually? Java x.servlet.0 we are using. Am I right or not? The Java x.servlet is a package, right? Is that package is available where? Is it available in core Java library or in some other library? At some other library. Am I right or not? That is not the part of the core Java library. So, but compiler does not aware about the Java x.servlet. No, compiler will search for Java x.servlet package under core Java library only, JTSC library only, but it doesn't know where that Java x.servlet library is available. Sir, are able to follow or not? So, because of that reason, at this point, we are getting some error. Cannot find the package or something else. No, that package does not exist. Like this, we are able to get some error. Okay, welcome servlet is user defined class. Again, servlet is a class or not? So compiler does not aware about Java servlet package, no. But where is a chance for the compiler to know about servlet package, servlet class interface? No, not possible. Leave this one. Servlet config is also be from servlet API. Not possible for compiler to know. Servlet exception not aware. Servlet request not aware. Servlet response not aware. Then after that, okay, fine. Servlet config not aware. Overall, how many number of errors here we are getting there? One is like what there? Java x.servlet. Next one is what there? Servlet interface. Next one is what there? Servlet config. Next one is what there? Servlet exception. Next one is what there? Servlet request. Next one is what there? Servlet response. Nearly 6 number of errors here we are going to get. Let us check this one. Let us check this clearly. 8 errors maybe. Extra maybe. Somewhere else we have done some mistake. No. Cannot find the symbol servlet config. And cannot find the symbol like what the servlet exception. That's okay. IO exception. Here we are getting it now. Servlet request class welcome servlet. Okay. IO exception. Class servlet exception, of course. Servlet exception here we are getting there. Welcome servlet. Cannot find the symbol. Right, class servlet with symbol servlet except servlet request is not found. Now servlet response is also be not found. Anyway, like this servlet config is not found. So like this, so many times, number of times, nearly 8 number of errors here we are getting there. That's of course. Whenever we are getting 8 number of errors, then we have to identify where is the problem actually. By default, compiler knows about the J2SE library. Compiler does not aware about what their servlet library. Then being the developer, what is our responsibility? We have to tell to the compiler where my servlet library is available. We have to tell to the compiler where our servlet library is available. Got my point or not? Where is servlet library is existed? No. Servlet is an abstraction provided by Sun Microsystems and implemented by all the server vendors. So that library and API must be maintained by the server vendor or not? Where that library is maintained by server vendor, that is inside the server software only. Server vendors have provided their library inside what their server software only. Now I'm going to give that awareness, try to understand this. Tomcat is one of the server. It must have servlet library in its internal. Where it is available here, all of you observe carefully. It is available under like what there, C drive. Inside the C drive, Tomcat 10.0. Inside this lib folder. Inside the lib folder, just observe this what there, servlet, that means Tomcat servlet-api.jar file is existed. Servlet-api.jar available or not? Now let us copy this. First of all, keep this slash here. There we are able to search for this one. Servlet-api.jar file is available. Try to select it totally and copy this. Control C. Control C. I copied this. Copy this. Control C. After copy this, what we have to do there? Now tell me, all these are dot class files or not? So here what we have to do there, set class path is equal to, provide this total path here up to jar file. Click on enter button. Try to check this here. Of course, if we are using IDE, this kind of work is not required. But in the first application, we have to do this without using IDE. So set class path is equal to, please remember this, before equal and after equal, don't provide spaces. If you provide spaces, your class path will not work. Set class path is equal to C Tomcat 10.0 lib. Insert this lib, what is available? Servlet-api.jar file is available. Got it or not? Okay, now here I want to compile this again now. Java C welcome servlet.java. Now check this, what happened there now. Still we are getting 8 number of errors, no? Why, sir? One minute. Maybe, I think so. Jakarta project, let me check this. Import Jakarta dot servlet dot star. Let me check it. Why? Because I said to you, then Tomcat 10 version we are using now. Maybe it is supporting that. Of course, both are same, no problem here. Java C space welcome servlet. So the package name would be what there? Jakarta. Now it is supporting what there? Jakarta, not Java X. Tomcat 10 version is supporting what there? Jakarta. But if you use Tomcat 9 version where Java X is supported. Tomcat 9 version is supporting what there? Java X. But Tomcat 10 is supporting what there? Jakarta. Please recognize this point here. That's why, because of that reason I said to you, in the older version Java X, latest version is what there? Jakarta. Now it is supporting for what there? Jakarta. See, no compilation is available here. Am I right or not? So in the program here, no compilation error. In the program, what we have tried, in place of Java X.servlet, we have written what there? Jakarta.servlet. That's okay. Finally, servlet class is compiled or not? Finally, servlet class is compiled or not? Now here, this is dot class file, what we are getting. Welcome servlet dot class file. Whenever this servlet class is created, then immediately we have to prepare web.xml file or not? Then here we have to prepare what there? Web.xml file. So here what we have to do there? Observe carefully, file, new. Then we need to prepare an XML file or not? Right, sir. Others, where XML option is available. Where XML option is available, then click on OK button. Click on OK button. Now observe carefully. Now here, what we have to do here inside this, no? Now tell me guys, you only now tell me what is the root tag for this one? Web app tag. Alright sir, in which I'm writing these tags now. We have to maintain the same thing. Web app tag. Now inside this web app tag, then what we have to write there? Now tell me servlet tag. Then close what there? Servlet. Now inside this, what we have to write there? Servlet name. What is the servlet name? You know, welcome servlet. That's a logical name. Slash servlet name. Next one is we need to prepare like what there? Servlet class. Now here we have to write fully qualified name of the servlet class or not. But have a specified any package for the servlet class? No, no package is available. So directly we are able to write like what there? Welcome servlet slash servlet class that we are able to provide. Have you got the difference between this welcome servlet and this welcome servlet? Have you seen any difference there? This welcome and this welcome. This is a small w and this is what there? Capital W. That's the difference that I provided. Or still, if you want to get some confusion for it now, of course, that everything here is available in our hand. Just I want to write like this. Now here I want to write like this. Welcome South. That's it. That's the logical name. Okay. Of course, even if you write the same as this class name, nothing is going to be happen. We can write it. All right. So next one is after completion of this, we need to write like what there? Servlet mapping. Under this servlet mapping here, what we have to write there? All right, now here we have to write two things. What two things here we have to write there? First one is what there? Servlet name. Here we are able to write like what there? Well serve as it is. Whatever the name we have used under this servlet tag, the same name here we have to use. Then only mapping will come there. All right, so now slash. Then what next one here? No, servlet name. Here we are able to provide. After this, what next one here? Now tell me URL pattern. Here we are able to provide. Now just I want to say like what there? Slash welcome. Now slash URL pattern. Slash URL pattern here we can write. So my web.xml file is ready. Now where I have to save this web.xml file? Come on, where I have to save this web.xml file? I have to save this web.xml file under classes folder or under webinf folder. The name and location of the web.xml file is a fixed or not? The name and location of the web.xml file is what there? Is a fixed. Observe carefully now. Right, sir. Now the name and location of the web.xml file is what there? Fixed. Right, sir. Where we have to save this? Under webinf folder. So now go with what the Tomcat C drive, Tomcat 10.0, web apps, app01, webinf. Inside this webinf, along with the classes here, we are going to save that web.xml. Not possible to change the name. Web.xml. Click on enter button here. Now here, I want to check all the open tags are having the matched closed tags or not. In XML, for every open tag, we must provide a closed tag. I want to check whether closed tags are available or not for each and every open tag. That's my requirement. So for the purpose, just open this XML file in a browser. Control B on Edit Plus. Control B and Edit Plus. Then it will be open in a browser. Edit Plus is maintaining browser. Then browser you are able to get now. Now observe carefully. In the browser, if you are getting the message like this, if you are getting the content of the web.xml file like this, no error is available. No error is available. Now it is perfectly all right. Now it is existed here. In the case in web.xml file, if we are missing anything, something else here we missed here. Check this one here. What we are getting there? We are getting some message or not? Of course, in the latest versions of the browsers, we are getting this one. Previously, even this message also not coming there. Simply a blank document we are getting, or maybe text data only we are able to get. Not like this. This page contains the following error. Error at line 10, column, extra content at the end of the document. Something else is available there. Below is the reading of the page. Text data only here we are getting there now. Immediately by seeing this one here, what we have to do there? There we have to provide some slash here we have to provide or not? Right, sir. Only it is checking only all the open tags are having matched ending tags or not. Right, sir. My web.xml file is ready. Now tell me, servlet is compiled successfully. Servlet is ready. Web.xml file is ready. Then what next one now? What next one? Start the server and deploy the application. Anyway, we prepared our application under classes for that means web apps folder. Automatic deployment is going to be happen or not? Auto deployment is going to be happen or not? No need to deploy separately this particular one. Auto deployment is going to be happen here. Then what we have to do there? Just start the server. That's sufficient. What we have to do there? Just start the server. Right, so now let me start the server. To start the server here, what I have to do there? I must go over Tomcat 10.0 bin now. Inside the bin, what is available? Tomcat 10 application is available. Double click on it. Double click on it. Automatically, server will start. Automatically, server will start. Server start up in some time here. Now observe carefully. I want to show some information to you. Now try to understand this clearly. Guys, all of you observe carefully. I want to show some points here. All right. Now see this one. What we are getting the message then. Now please read out this message. No. Right, sir. All right, sir. Then what is that there? Now deploying web application directory C:, Tomcat 10.0 web apps app01. All right, sir. Now observe carefully. Now this is like what? This is 1 point here. That means deployment of our application is completed or not? When it is completed here, at the time of server startup. At the time of server startup, automatically deployment is performed or not. So no need to deploy this application separately. If you prepare your application under web apps folder, automatically application is going to be deployed or not. Deployment is completed here. Server started. When server is started, just open the client browser where we have to type our URL http:// what next one here? Localhost : then what next one here? 1010 / observe carefully. Directly we can write this one app01 / that means app1010 / application name app01 / URL pattern is what there, welcome. Directly we can write the total URL and click on enter button. Automatically here we are able to get response. Am I right or not? But what I want to do there, I want to open Tomcat server administration page. Administration page I want to open. So what I have to do there? http:// localhost : 1010 enter button. Now here we are getting this home page of the Tomcat server. There what we have to open there? Manager app. Click on it. Now it is asking about username and password. We already created or not? Durga is username, password is also be what there? Durga. Click on sign in. Now we are getting what there? Applications. Our application is listed in the manager apps or not? Our application is available or not? Now see the status of our application is available. Start, already started this one. True. Running is what there? True. Everything is okay about our application there. Click on what there? app01. Click on what there? app01. There we have to write our what there? Directly welcome. There we have to write what there? Directly welcome. Welcome is what there? URL pattern. If we click on it, now we are getting directly the response. What is the response here we are getting there? No, welcome to Durgasoft Solutions. Welcome to Durgasoft Solutions response here we are getting. Got it or not? Just observe carefully. All right, sir. Okay, I prepared this servlet and I executed this servlet. I got some response. Okay, that's okay, fine. But unfortunately, I have done some mistake in my servlet class. I have done some mistake in my servlet class. I want to change my servlet class again. What we have to do now? In this approach, if you want to have changes in the servlet class, shut down the server. Are you understanding what I'm telling there? What we have to do there? Just shut down the server. Close this browser also, not required. Shut down the server. After that, open the servlet class. Welcome servlet. Whatever the changes you want to do, that we can perform here. After this, welcome to Durgasoft Solutions. I want to use one HR tag. What is this HR tag there? Horizontal line. For this horizontal line here, I want to provide, save this. Modification is done or not? Whenever we perform modification on this servlet class, no, we must recompile the program. We must restart the server. Recompile the program. I must compile the program or not? To compile this program here, what we have to do there? Now here, again here I have to use what there? Same command prompt. If we change the command prompt, again we have to set class path to do servlet-api.jar file that we have to do. Java C space, then what next one here? Welcome servlet.java. Again compile this program. Recompilation is performed. After completion of this recompilation, then I have to start the server or not? Now restart the server. Now go to that C Tomcat 10.0 pin now. Tomcat 10 now. Restart the server. When we restart the server, again here, what's going to be identified here? Here we can see that. All right, sir. Now here we are getting like what is this statement? Deployment of the web application directory. This is completed. Here also deployment of the web application directory app01. My application is deployed. Next one is what there. Open the browser here. http:// localhost:1010. Click on enter button. Manage your app. Not required to provide username and password every time. One time is sufficient. First time up to that browser. If we close the browser and if you open again, it no, there again we have to provide what there username and password. Now click on like what there application. There we have to provide like what there welcome. Click on enter button. Now we are getting our response. Welcome to Durgasoft. Here we are getting the response. Say for example, the same thing I want to access directly. http:// localhost:1010/app01/ welcome. Directly I want to type it without using the Tomcat server admin page. No, directly we can type the total URL and click on enter button. There we are getting response. In either of the way here we are able to get the response here. Either through admin user, that means either through Tomcat administration page or through what there direct URL on the client address bar. So this is what exactly the week here I am telling there clearly. Sir, all of you are getting clarity or not? So now I want to keep this programming part in our document here. Now up to this document here, first application. Now here we need to prepare like what there welcome servlet. First of all, let me prepare web.xml file. Web.xml file. In web.xml file, what we have there, this particular one here we provide it. Next one, after that, welcome servlet.java. Right, sir. Welcome servlet.java. Okay, this is completed. No, I need to provide this total command prompt work. What I have done there in command prompt, that everything I want to provide there. By that we are able to get some awareness what I have done. Or else maybe let me check this valid case. No. Right, sir. Now it's a starting point. We compiled this one, then we are getting these many errors. It's okay. Now we set this jar file here. Whenever we set this jar file here, what we have to do there, again, when we recompile this one, we should not get this errors here. Why? Because of that library change, I got this one. I want to remove this, not required. Now directly, if we compile it, compilation is successful. Like this here we provided. That's okay, fine. Right, sir. So then directly here what we have to do, then we have to start the server. Automatic deployment is going to be happen. Access the application. There we are able to go to required resources. No. Right, clear to all of you know? Will you complete this example today? Right, whatever the example here I've given up to now, then try to complete this everything here, right? All right, sir. Now this is what I'm giving there clearly. Now try to understand it now. Right, sir. Right, sir. If I give my system IP address, then we can access that web page now. In place of localhost, we have to give what there my system IP address. Understand it now? Okay, that's possible. We can access it. All right. We'll see that later on, guys. The remaining part. But try to complete this example today. After completion of this, and tomorrow we have to see what there the next continuation for that. Continuation in the sense how this servlet is executed. The total flow of execution I want to discuss with you. Everything what we understood up to now in servlets, everything I'm going to put in a single place. Then where the total flow of execution we are able to see. After that, we'll move forward to what there. We'll move on to the generic servlet. From generic servlet onwards, I'm going to use what there IDE. How to prepare servlets by using IDE, that we are going to understand, right? Thank you. Just take some gap, then come back for the spring class. I'll take the spring class now. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Uh, Jayant, let me check. Let me check. Let me check the faculties now. Then I'll give that intimation to you. Don't worry. Okay. Thank you.